So I'll be teaching this model. It's called Heart in the House, version 2 of this type of model. I've made a few others, and it's the same on the back and front, fully 3D, and it can stand up by itself. Yes, it's a 15 centimeter paper, 6 inches, 15 centimeters, and this model that I showed before, it will be the exact same. I use the same size paper to fold this model, so if you fold the model using 15 centimeter paper, it'll end up around this size right here. Now start by folding along both diagonals of the paper. Fold in half diagonally both ways. So first diagonal. And I'll be marking the lines, the creases with a pen so that they're easier to see in the video. We just folded the paper in half along the diagonal one way, and now we'll do the other diagonal. Now the two creases you just formed should form an X in the middle of the square paper. Now take one corner of the paper, the lower right-hand corner, bring it to the center, and just pinch fold right in the middle on diagonal. You don't have to fold it all the way, just a little bit right in the middle. Fold. And take the opposite corner, the upper left-hand corner of the paper. Bring the corner of the paper to the center, and pinch fold again, right in the middle. Unfold. And these are the two pinch folds that you just formed. Now taking the lower right-hand corner of the paper, bring the corner of the paper to the upper pinch fold, line them up, and fold the paper all the way through. Like that. Unfold. Now taking the opposite corner, bring the upper left-hand corner to the bottom pinch fold, line that up, and valley fold all the way through. Unfold. Now, I'm going to valley fold the paper in half diagonally And the crease should lie to go from the upper left-hand corner paper to the bottom right-hand corner, like so. And again, I'm marking the creases that we formed previously with a pen so that they're easier to see. Now, we want to perform a valley fold that would bring the folded edge of paper here along the hypotenuse of the triangle. And bring that folded edge so that it matches with the crease that you formed previously. This crease right here. Valley fold. And now you want to do the same with the other corner. Bring the folded edge so that it matches like this crease that you formed previously. And you have this so far. Now you want to valley fold this top flap again. So valley fold so that this folded edge right here lines up with the other folded edge on the right side. Like so. Do the same with the other side. Valley fold so that these two folded edges line up. So far you'll have this. Now unfold. And unfold again, all the way until you have your square again. So far you folded this, you folded the paper with these creases. Oops, sorry. Orient the paper this way. Now, taking the bottom right-hand corner, bring that corner to the center, and pinch fold in the middle again. You don't need to fold all the way through, just pinch in the middle. And unfold. Now I take the upper left-hand corner, bring that corner to the middle, pinch in the middle, pinch fold in the middle, and unfold. Now taking the bottom right hand corner, this one right here, bring that corner to the upper pinch fold, and you pinch in the middle. Don't fold all the way through, but just pinch in the middle. Unfold. Do the same with the upper left-hand corner. Bring the corner of the paper to the bottommost pinch fold along the diagonal. Just pinch in the middle and unfold. Now taking the bottom left-hand corner, line up the corner with the bottom of the second pinch fold from the top, and fold halfway, crease halfway through the paper. You don't have to go all the way through, just within the between the two creases that you formed previously. Like so, and you should end up with a crease that in between in the two pinch folds on the bottom. So pinch, crease, pinch. Repeat it again with the upper left-hand corner. Bring the corner paper to the second pinch fold from the bottom and crease in between the two lines. The two parallel lines that you've creased previously. And unfold. Turn the paper around. I'm going to mark the creases we formed. And I actually made a mistake in the previous step. These two creases right here should have been the reverse, so just reverse the fold, these two folds from the previous step. So a valley fold from the color side. Okay. Now we want to valley fold in between these sets of parallel lines. So valley fold in between these two parallel lines and in between these two. We're going to do that by first bringing this edge up into a mountain fold and line that edge, the folded edge, along the center diagonal of the paper. And crease all the way through. Like so. And this is a new crease that we just formed. Repeat the same on the other side. Bring this edge up into a mountain fold and line that folded edge with the center diagonal of the paper. And crease all the way through. Unfold. Now we're going to be adding valley folds in between these two sets of creases and these two as well. So similar to what we did before, form mountain fold with this edge and line that folded edge, this time with the inner parallel line right here. Not exactly a diagonal, but right next to it. Increase valley fold all the way through. The same with the other side. Form a mountain fold and line that crease with the inner parallel line adjacent to the diagonal. Unfold both sides. And these are the creases you should have formed so far. Now turn the paper over. And this is what your paper should look like from this side. Now we're going to introduce crease lines, valley folds in between this crease line that you formed previously and this pinch fold right here on both sides. So forming a mountain fold with this crease that you created previously, line that folded edge with the bottommost pinch fold. So to make sure that line up, just make sure that fold is straight. Make sure that the corner lines up with the center diagonal. Just crease again. This is the line you should have just formed. A new line in between the older crease line and the bottommost pinch fold. Repeat again on top. Form a mountain fold and line that crease edge with the uppermost pinch fold. And unfold. We're almost done pre-creasing the model at this point. We just need 4 more creases. Next, we're going to form creases that are perpendicular to raw edges of the paper. And they should go through these points here. And these are valley folds. These valley folds should go through these points that I just circled and should be perpendicular to the raw edge of the paper. I'll do one as example. So line up the raw edge of the paper and crease just a little bit. So counting the creases that you formed before, 1, 2 creases in from the raw edge of the paper. Unfold. And this is a new crease that you've just formed. Repeat the same on the other 3 sides. Again, crease going through this point, perpendicular to the raw edge of the paper. This is the second crease. Repeat again on the bottom left side. Same way. Each time, make sure that the raw edges of the paper line up. Okay. At this point, your paper should look like this. This way. Now turn your paper over. Next is the trickiest part of this model. We're going to start collapsing the model, and not everything at once. You'll see that we formed a rectangle in the middle of the paper, along with two diamond shapes. You want to mount and fold along this outer rectangle and along these edges of paper, these creases that go to the edge of the paper. Mount and fold all the way. The paper should be 3D at this point. It will not lie flat. Will not lie flat. And you see the thin border we created using creases, and call this the space between these two creases right here 1 unit. You want to valley fold 1 unit in. Like a frame. The edges should be inset just a little bit. Like so. The side would look like this. Like a diamond shape. An actual diamond. So will the sides. And in the middle, it'll be like a tray. It'll be flat in the middle, and the sides are all the same height. Now, we're going to start flattening the model. Right now, the walls of the tray are perpendicular, and now just flatten it. Bring it downwards. On all sides. And flatten these parts of paper that stick out to the side. Just push it downwards and make sure the raw edges still line up. Right here. All these edges should line up. This is what your model should look like at this point. This is what the other side looks like. Still be working with the color size for now. So make your color size up. This side you're seeing the color side, and all of these flaps right here reversed. There's some in the opposite direction. So undoing the previous valley fold and creating a new one. And do so while making sure that these edges still line up. The raw edges of paper still line up. Do the same for all the other 3 flaps of paper. Just turning it over. make sure that the raw edge of the paper line up, and this folded edge lines up with this crease parallel to diagonal that you formed before. Okay. Now, you should valley fold along the diagonal that goes from the bottom left of the paper to the upper right corner of the paper. Valley fold all the way through the entire model. And orient it so that the hypotenuse of the triangle is upwards and the right angle corner faces downwards, like so. Now, we're going to be squash folding the corner of the paper using creases that we formed previously. So these two creases, we'll be using those to form our squash fold. If they aren't that sharp right now, you can go back and fold back on the paper on those lines to make that crease a little stronger first. And then form your squash fold. Oops. Be careful. Be careful to make sure the point of the paper where the crease is, it still remains inside this layer of paper. So this folded edge, it should the point should be at this inner crease right here. It shouldn't line up with the outer folded edge, but with this crease right here. Again, see that I used the creases that we formed previously to form the squash fold. Now, we're going to be creating new creases. Form a petal fold. Just like when you're folding a crane, bring the point of paper upwards. Here, the raw edge should line up with the inner parallel crease line. That's parallel to the diagonal of the paper. Crease along the middle and bring the raw edges to the center. Again, this is a petal fold. And again, this point should line up with the inner crease line. Taking this flap that you just formed, valley fold it downwards all the way. Open this up. We just brought this downwards, like so. Now, valley fold this flap of paper upwards so that this is rightmost folded edge of paper lines up with itself. This is a crease that you just formed right here. Redoing that fold, your model should look like this. Now, put your finger into the left, under the left edge of paper, and just open up and release the paper underneath and flatten all the way. So you create a 45-degree triangle of colored paper right here. Now you want to do a swivel fold. Valley fold along the bottom left edge of the colored triangle. Valley fold. And mountain along this the hypotenuse of the colored triangle. Bring it all the way to the side and flatten. Let me repeat that. Starting with this swivel fold, push it to the side. You get something like this. And like before, release the paper. Pull up on the raw edge paper, being careful not to rip the paper. And flatten. Flatten it so that you form a 45-degree right triangle of colored paper. And valley fold the triangle over. And if you do it correctly, you should have a like this. Now we're going to do another swivel fold. Mountain on the bottom edge of the colored triangle, the bottom left edge of the colored triangle. Mountain fold and swivel so that what was previously the topmost point of the triangle, that lines up with the middle of the petal fold that we formed previously, right here. So this is the center line I'm talking about. The point should lie on that center line. You don't have to crease the top edge, the top right edge, because we're going to reverse fold that edge outwards now. And while making sure the point still lies on the center line of the petal fold, we now should have a colored square of paper. It looks like this on the inside. Now, valley fold the colored square diagonally in half, but don't crease all the way. just pinch in the middle. Unfold. And that pinch fold should mark the center of the square. Now, valley fold the upper left-hand corner of the square and bring the corner to center of the square and valley fold all the way through, like so. This is going to form the heart inside our house, and right now it's still very sharp. So now we're going to mountain fold the edges to make the heart more round. So start by mountain folding the top edge backwards. And if you're using 15 centimeter paper, the mountain fold should be about 1 millimeter in from the edge, very small, just enough to round out the top points a little bit. Now on the left and right side of the heart, mountain fold those back as well, just a little bit. Just a little bit. So that we have a colored heart now. A nice round colored heart. And we're done with this right side. You want to turn the model over now and do the exact same thing on the other side. Again, using these old crease lines that we formed before, squash fold, the paper, and make sure that the upper point of the pivot point lies on the innermost crease line parallel to the center line. Petal fold, the valley fold, and bring the raw edges of paper to the center. Exactly the same as we did previously on the other side. Bring this flap of paper downwards. All the way. Valley fold so that this right folded edge of paper lines up with itself. This crease I just made should have made a parallel, should have been perpendicular to this folded edge. I'm going to reform that crease. Release the paper trapped here and flattened to form a 45-degree right triangle. Swivel fold. valley fold along the bottom left edge of the colored triangle, and mountain along the hypotenuse. Release the paper on the other side now, right here. So just bring up one layer. And form another 45-degree right triangle. Flip that triangle over. And swivel fold. Do that by forming one mountain fold along the bottom left edge of the right triangle. And bringing the top point of the triangle so that it lines up with the center line of the petal fold we formed. And the whole hypotenuse of the previous triangle should line up with the center line of that petal fold. Reverse fold on the top right edge. So that you have a triangle, a square of colored paper. It should be a perfect square. Here we're forming the heart again. Bringing the upper left corner of the triangle, of the square, downwards. Pinch so that enter the square. Unfold and fold the upper left corner downwards. To the center of the square. We're going to round out the heart again. Mountain fold the top of the heart downwards, backwards. About 1 millimeter if you're using 15 centimeter or /6-inch origami paper. Just enough to curve out the top. And do the same with the left and right sides. Mountain folding backwards to round out the heart. Now your model should look identical on both sides. And we're going to start opening up the model and making the model 3D. You see these two crease lines, the two innermost crease lines that are parallel to the center line of the model. We're going to form mountain folds along them on both sides. And we're going to flatten out the sides by valley folding along the side crease right here. So when I do it, open up the bottom, flatten the side. So at the heart lies on a flat plane. Do that on both sides and mountain along those crease lines that I mentioned. At this point, you can kind of see the house start taking shape. It'll look like that. It's open on the bottom, and it forms a 3D corner piece currently. Before we bring down the sides and form the walls of the house, we're going to flatten the top point of the house. So focusing on this narrow edge trim of the roof, keeping the left side down, bring the right side, open the right side a little bit and flatten, like so. Everything lines up. And valley fold that right edge back down. Now the connecting part of the edges of the house, the roof, should lie flat. Do the same on the other side, focusing on these edges, the roof, along the roof. Keep the left side down while opening up the right side a little. Flatten. And valley fold the edge back down. Your model should look like this at this point. Now we're going to bring down these two sides of the house to form the straight walls on the sides. So these walls right here. You look on the inside, you have these flaps of paper. Bring them outward so that they're perpendicular. This instead of flat, make it perpendicular. Right to this plane. And valley fold so that these two edges, crease edges, line up. Everything is lined up. All the creases line up. The edges of creases. Do the same on all the other sides. So far, I've folded down one side. All these crease edges should line up. Form nice square walls for the house. Again, do the same on the other side. Lifting this flap of paper so that stands up away from the flat plane, and valley folding so that these two edges line up. And if you notice, if there should be a little bit of overhang from the roof past where the walls meet. I think that becomes a nice detail that makes the house seem less flat and more, oh, like a house. We're almost done. Now, we're going to lock these inner layers in place by mountain folding these flaps inwards. Like so. The same on the other side, just mountain fold. Inwards. It should be able to stand by itself at this point. And you can see all the details, the roof, the sides of the wall, and the empty bottom. Should be a heart on both sides. One last thing, you'll notice that the heart is popping out a little bit right now. We're going to lock that in place with some mountain folds. So, focusing on these layers of paper behind the heart, just mountain fold that backwards. Around that much, about that much. And what that serves to do, help hold the heart down, prevent it from popping out so much. The same on the other side. Mountain fold that corner backwards just a little bit. On the other side again, mountain folding. Like that. And we're technically done now. We're done. This is final model. I think it holds together pretty well without any glue at all. You have to just flatten the sides a bit after you're done. There we have it. A heart in a house. Two hearts, actually.